Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul channel. I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. And some people I thank have inspired me. I hope they can inspire you as well. And I will have links below this video to the sites here: Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lazer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour Balon Anavar, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Rabbi Daniel Asser, Nisan Baruch Black, David Sachs, Rabbi Michael Skobach, Jews for Judaism, Rabbi David Usher, Rabbi Roman Riving, and Rabbi Yosef Chesney as well. If you've never checked out this channel before, I will have a link below to my first video which explains what M.L.M for the Soul means, what it stands for, what I'm doing. So I did mention in the previous video that I was having some issues with the iPad. I just wanted to kind of follow up. So Baruch Hashem, I was able to post from the last 2 weeks that I missed. I did them all last week. So the new thing I'm going to be doing is actually, instead of posting this Motzei Shabbos, BeEzrat Hashem will probably be posted on Sunday, because the issue is still ongoing on my iPad. But if I go to a place where I can have access to a desktop, like a library, which I went to, I can actually upload it. I kind of, I actually upload it to my iPad, but then once it's loaded up, then I can publish it. That was the issue, that it wasn't letting me publish it. It just, very strange. Anyway, so Baruch Hashem, that matter is resolved for now, and I don't know if it'll ever work again on the iPad the way it was, but it's okay. BeEzrat Hashem, it's all good. So, getting back to our topic for today. So this is from Tiferes Yosef by Rabbi Yosef Chesney, and this is regarding to the upcoming Parasha B'Shalach, and I call this Reach a Transcendent State. So Rabbi Israel Tauber relates. It's interesting that this is Rabbi Israel Tauber, because I'm actually reading a book by him right now called Choose Life, which is amazing. If you've never heard about him, he's fantastic. You should look him up. Tauber is Tauber. So anyway, he relates that during the war years, because he was a Holocaust survivor, my family hid in forests and trenches. In the course of those years, my mother bore 4 children. I one time asked her, how did you have the courage to give birth to so many children during such a turbulent time? There was no guarantee that they would survive the war. She replied with something that displays the strong emunah on which our nation is built. We are Yidden, and that means we're Jews. We believe in Tchiyas HaMesim, which is the resurrection of the those that are passed away. We don't lose children, even if they don't survive in this world. The child that you bring into the world is your child forever. This is the Emunah Peshuta, which means the simple faith that our nation has in Tchiyas HaMesim. We live our lives in preparation for the next. What happens in this world is insignificant. Although Tchiyat HaMeitim is such an integral part of our perspective of life, the Torah says little about it. One place that the Torah does hint about it is in this week's parasha. After Hashem split the Yam Suf, that's the sea, and the Yidden were saved, they sang a song of praise to Hashem. The pasuk says, Az Yashir Moshe, that Moshe will sing. It says it in the future tense. Moshe is no longer with us. When is he going to sing? So this is clear proof that there will be Tchiyat HaMeitim, the dead will come back to life. Why is it specifically here that the Torah hints at the resurrection? What is the connection between Kriyas Yam Suf and Tchiyas HaMeitim? To comprehend this, we must have a better understanding of Tchiyat HaMeitim and of Kriyas Yam Suf. What is Tchiyat HaMeitim? Many people think our bodies are weak and expire after 120 years. But don't worry. We will come back alive and live, and life will continue as normal as it is in this world. This thinking is faulty, meaning what I just said. So Hashem is all-powerful. Why kill us and then resurrect us? Just make people live forever. Obviously, there is a much higher purpose for this process. When Adam was created, he was not intended to have Tchiyat HaMeitim. He was supposed to live forever. Death was not... after he sinned, he was punished with death. Death was not merely a punishment, it was a necessity. Why is this? So until his sin, Adam did not wear clothing and yet was not embarrassed. Why did he suddenly have a need for clothing? So Rabbi Akiva Tatz explains. Before the sin, Adam's body was a much more spiritual entity. It was a true reflection of the soul. After the sin, he caused destruction to the world. His body, as well, went down and became animalistic. It was no longer a clear reflection of the soul. A person senses that he is more than what his animalistic body depicts, and thus is embarrassed for his animalistic body to be seen. Thus, he wears clothing. Rahman al-Islam, it's really sad state of affairs that's not true in this generation. Anyway, moving on. Why must we die? This world is where we perfect ourselves in preparation for the world to come. The reward of the next world is the pleasure of connecting to Hashem and basking in His radiance. This will occur after Tchiyat HaMeitim. Why can't we do this in this world? The answer is, since our body lost its lofty level and became animalistic, it is no longer possible to fully connect to Hashem. Thus it became necessary for us to die and to be revived with a pure body that can connect to our Creator. This is the concept of Tchiyat HaMeitim. It is not merely coming back to life to resume it as before. That would undermine the entire purpose of this process. Rather, Tchiyat HaMeitim is to be recreated on a trans-physical level where we could connect to Hashem. With this understanding of Tchiyat HaMeitim, we can appreciate why the Torah hints to it by Kriyas Yamsuf. There is much more depth into the behind the scenes of the splitting of the sea. So Kriyas Yamsuf was a pivotal time in our history. It was a time when we transcended the physical state of this world and merited spiritual revelations. The simplest person of that generation saw that which the greatest prophets could not. Hashem's glory was revealed to them with such clarity that they were able to point to it with their fingers and declare, "This is, my God, Hashem." On a deeper level, Kriyas Yamsuf can be explained as follows: every object in the world is formed from countless individual atoms. Scientifically, there is no reason why these atoms should stick to each other to form an object. There is a spiritual force that holds them together. Thus, even physical objects possess a spiritual component. The exception to this is water. It runs freely. There is nothing holding its atoms together. Thus, water is considered the most physical of all substances. That's based on the Maharal. All this changed by Kriyas Yamsuf. A spiritual force empowered the water and attached the individual atoms, forming a wall. We see that the Yamsuf splitting signifies a suspension of physicality and transcendence into a spiritual world. With this understanding, we can appreciate why this is where the Torah hints at Tchiyat HaMeitim. Specifically here, it's because this is the juncture in history when we reach a similar transcendent state as that of Tchiyat HaMeitim. This concept gives us a newfound appreciation for death and for rebirth. Imagine an old man who sees an ad for a video. He runs to the store to purchase it and brings it home and feeds it into his 1927 VCR. Some of you may not even know what a VCR is. It's really from a long time ago. I don't know if they were around in 1927, but it's interesting that that's the date he wrote. I don't think they were created so early in time. Anyway, frustrated with the results, he returns it to the store and complains. From the ad, I was expecting some color, not just a black and white video. They replied, "The video is good. It's your device that does not have the capacity to play in color." The man upgraded his device and was finally able to get the full pleasure from the video. In our current body, we can't properly connect to the splendor of Hashem's glory. Death and resurrection is what upgrades our body, allowing us to truly attain this pleasure. Of course, there is one clause. Our level in the world to come is in accordance to how much we attain in this world. If we keep our focus on Avodas Hashem, we will reap the full benefits of the world to come, and I pray that we will also merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days and the rebuilding of our final and everlasting Beit HaMikdash. Amen, and thanks for watching.